It took only a dozen or so buses to bring in the 750 fans who were segregated both inside and outside the stadium. 700 tickets been allocated to each club, just over half have been sold, 450 to Dundee fans, 300 to Bankie supporters. And among the crowd, some interested spectators from the SFA, including Chief Executive Jim Farry. On a bitterly cold night here in the Forth Bank Stadium, they were here to ensure that the fans behaved themselves and that the only action that took place was here on the park. In goal for Clydebank, Alan Monaghan, who was the focus of some of the Dundee fans who invaded the pitch in the first match at Kilbowie. Monaghan was soon face to face with Dundee again, but this time thankfully strictly in the call of duty. George Shaw with the second-minute shot. Really, that move was to prove the taster for what was to follow. The first half was monopolised by Dundee with wave after wave of attack. I just felt the tide had to come in Clydebank. Frustration was setting in, and Ian Thompson booked for a clumsy challenge on Morton Beacon. And sure enough, with less than 20 minutes gone, that tide was encroaching on Clydebank's 10th Scottish Cup future. George Shaw with the glancing header there. By now, Shaw and Weghorst were really stamping their personalities on the game. Dundee's opening goal coming up as the ball comes back to Weghorst. The cross to the far post, and there's Jerry Britton with his first goal for his new club. The classic downward header, 1-0 Dundee. In the wake of the opener came Clydebank's one real chance of the half, the sweetest of passes from Davy Cooper, but the usually competent John Henry found the ball superglued to his boots. At the other end, normal service was resumed, Dundee on the attack. But George Shaw won't want to see the video replay of this one. Ex-certificate viewing really, but the video player might be running on this one. Coming up, a magnificent save from Alan Monaghan, but when the dust settles, it's a former Partick Thistle man with his first strike for his new club. And from every striker's favourite distance of about 3 feet. Only one black moment in the half for Dundee. A nodding off for Neil McCann on what referee Jerry Evans interpreted as a stamp on Graham Ferguson. The Dundee fans didn't like it, but the Dens Park club had to battle into the second half with just 10 men. Into that second 45, and Dundee, despite being a man down, sustained their pressure. George Shaw away on the right side again. When the cross comes in, it's another close call for the Bankies. Talking of close calls, what about this little scenario where Shaw, the near post, and Bankie's goalkeeper Monaghan all have key roles? But Clydebank then did pull one back. Davy Cooper was the architect with a cross from his finest collection. That magical left foot laying it on for Big Sean Sweeney. A lifeline for the Bankies at last. And near the end, near the equaliser, the header from John Henry, so close and yet so far. But it was to be Dundee's Jim Duffy who will see his team play St Mirren in round 4.
First and foremost, we're delighted to be in the next round. But you know, there's still a long way to go and a lot to learn. You know, we're 10 men for a good part of the game, but we didn't really defend as well as we should have done. You know, in that situation. And as I said to the players, you know, if a similar situation arises again, we've got to do a lot better because you know, towards the end of the game, we're definitely hanging on.
But let's look at the plus point. Your two new strikers get the first goals for the club.
Yeah, well, that's right. Jerry Britton I was delighted for. Jerry's come back in. and he scored a good goal, you know, and again he set up a chance for George Shaw to score the second one as well. So I think overall, I said I'm delighted for these two boys, because you bring strikers to score goals, but not only that, I thought their overall work rate was tremendous as well.
Well, all that drama's behind you. Obviously it went off peacefully tonight. You must be happy about that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there wasn't too many here, but the ones that were here were very, very much behind the club and behind the players, and the players appreciate that, and we just hope that, you know, it's the end of a sort of drawn-out saga.
But the best news of the night is the crowd dispersed. The police reported no arrests and no trouble.